Hey y'all. Um, I just wanted to do a video and show you what I've been working on here. This is obviously already started, but this is a piece of the popular wood that I cut in a previous video where I show you how I cut plaques, out of poplar and shape them. I know I just bumped the camera. Sorry about that. um, anyway, so this is ground down, and then I spray painted the edges, just kind of a rustic look. And anyway, I've been burning with my pen, this dual pen burner here. So what I'm going to do is, since I've already started and I just want to give you a look at it, we're going to burn a little bit. This is a Bigfoot right here, a Sasquatch, because it's Sasquatch. I'm still in my mind. Last night and this morning, I was trying to think: do I want to change the position of this or anything? But I think I'm just going to leave it. This is what I came up with, and I do like it so far. But what I'm thinking is maybe doing some. I hope it don't shake too much. Doing some sort of abstract surrealism down here, just some curves and swirls, like I've done before, and I'm not really sure what I want to do with it, but we're going to try something. Where's my pencil? And also this, there's, let's see, let me get this where you can see it. There's some pencil marks in here, so I probably don't have to explain this, but obviously there's a moon, and I'm doing what's outside the moon is light, and then inside is dark, just a silhouette. So that's just something I'm trying on here. He's going to be darker too, so it's going to be like a silhouette, but I want to do more detail in his fur and stuff, and more detail in him because he is a focal point, so to speak. And this is just sort of going to be a semi-abstract background. All right, well, let's get to it, and just I'm gonna skip some things out here in a minute and do some swirls. It's raining outside, so I hope that doesn't get too loud. Anyway, I gotta get a pencil. All right, I got my pencil and my pink pearl eraser. This one's going over here. Yeah, I figured I would go ahead and do that now, so I can, in case I get the urge to take a break from the Bigfoot, I can go over here and do some swirls and things. I'll do more of a swirling pattern instead of I don't want it to look like flames. Not on this one. I did that before on one of the previous ones, and I wasn't disappointed. I like it better if it swirls and more of a Norse and Celtic looking design. That's kind of my kick right now, as I'm interested in Celtic and Norse old ancient designs. They're really fascinating to me. Never really been able to. They seem simple, but I've never really been able to capture that feel. I mean, I guess they are simple, and but they flow. And I'm sure they planned. What am I talking about? I'm sure they planned it out pretty well before they started. But especially the knots. The knots would take a lot of effort, a lot of planning, I think. I'm not sure, but there might be a formula for that. I don't know. Is there a repeatable process that I don't know? That's what I'm researching right now. Yeah, I think that'll look good. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, something. And then I'll black. Um, so I'll black this and maybe. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do a line. I hope I'm not off the page, off the screen. Something. 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 Here we go. I've done a lot of, well, not a lot, but I've done several speed drawings on here, on this channel and other channels before. But this time I wanted to do a little more of just a standard drawing. Woodburning. How you like this? Yeah, blur it out, blur it out, blur that out. All right. Okay. Now we got our wood burner going here, and I'm going to go ahead and pick out which tip I want. This is sort of a little spoon. Let me get it on the screen. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little spoon tip. It's squashed down, and I don't know. I'm trying to learn these tips. I have the old wood burner, the old style like you get from Walmart, and I'm kind of, even though I'm not very good, let's turn this down to like 350 or something. See if I can get the hang of this. Cool the tip off a little. Is that gonna be, can you see me? Let me get over here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm still trying to get used to this new wood burning style. It's got these little wire tips, you know, that you put in like a soldering gun. And the other ones at Walmart are solid, and that's all I've used since I was a kid. Was the, I don't even know what you call it. It's just as what everybody has, you know, probably. But I discovered these by watching Jordy Johnson Carving Fusion channel, and he had one of these, and it was so cheap that I had to get it. You know what I mean? I had to try it. My wife got it for me for birthday, Christmas, one of those two. I know it's bad. I can't remember exactly which one. She's tries to get me something on for all the holidays. All the celebration items. Celebration. Here we go. So I don't know if I like this way this is going. I think I'm gonna turn it up. I think I want the lines darker. I know. The thing about these, this style, and all of them really, but this one, if you go fast with lower heat, they're all that way, but it can cool off relatively quickly if you start running it across the wood. In my experience, it's been that way. I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong, but it seems it cools off. And so I turn the heat up, and then when you hit it, it burns a hole, a big dot or something. So I was going with this where I just crank it up and just burn holes or divots in it for a little while. Now I gotta get back to learning skill instead of just burning holes in it. So I'm trying to draw this sort of like the old wood carvings and stuff that you can find in that period. Something else that I should do a little more research on. I usually do just enough research to get me in trouble, and then the rest I fill in the blanks with my own ideas, and then that gets me off on a tangent. You know, that's not Celtic design, or that's not whatever. That's something else. No, this is about the right tone. What I'm gonna do is go through here and do this hair and try to get it flowing the right direction and all, and I'll come back and try to do some shading and I don't know if I'll do three-dimensional stuff, but I'm gonna do some shading in the hair itself and try to make it look a little darker. For the frogs. Yeah, it's raining pretty good out there. It's been not rain. It's been sunny for the last, I don't know, a few days, a week. And it was close to 90 degrees out there. And I don't do well in heat. And I don't know if I had a heat stroke once or what, but tell you what, it feels like I'm having one nowadays when I get out there. When it gets above 85, 80, right about 86, if I'm doing physical activity outside, I start getting woozy. I mean, now I can handle 80. I can sit and do this all day at 80 degrees in here, which we do keep our air down, or we keep our air conditioner at a high temperature, so it's around 80. 79 or 80 in here, but that feels cool to me as long as I feel like there's some wind, which I have the fan turned off right now because of the camera, so I don't want the noise on the camera, but normally I have a little fan here blowing and it feels cool. I mean, I know 80 sounds like it stuffy or whatever, but it feels cool to me, and I've gotten used to it. And my wife is super cold natured, so I kind of had to readjust my biological temperature, I guess, my physiological thermometer or something, because it just makes life easier when you can all be on the same temperature page, so to speak. For me, that's my assessment of it. But anyway, yeah, if it's 80, I can do, I can go out and dig a hole with a shovel and all that. I'm fine. I'll take a break, drink some ice water, tea, whatever, and take that with me. But when it gets to, for some reason, there's a magic number right in there, 86, 87. I'm over. If it gets to 90 and stuff, I'm like thinking I might have to go to the emergency room. Anyways. Enough about that. Well, this kind of feels like that old shader tip that I used on the Walmart one. It doesn't have the tip. The shader tip that I got at Walmart has a little point to it, like almost like a teardrop shape or a shape of a leaf or something like that. And this is feeling kind of close when as far as the feel of it, and I got the temperature down at this thing. It says 409, but I don't really know what this is, Fahrenheit or Celsius or just numbers. I don't know. I mean, it can't be. Is it Celsius? I don't think it would be Celsius. That's pretty hot, I think. And I go, this thing goes up to like 800 and something, so I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Again, I do just enough. I turned that thing on and started just after watching Jordy on his channel do it. The air conditioner just kicked on, so it must be getting warmer. I hope you can hear me. I probably should stop the video and check the audio. That vent's pretty loud. We'll go for a little bit here. Is that off the pick? Oh, I'm still good. Alright. This is riveting, I know. Riveting content, right? Look at it go. Alright, well look. I'm not going to finish this on this video. If you're looking for that, I don't think I'm going to finish it. Terrible. That's not too bad. So I'm turning it on the side here and doing this. Sometimes I keep wanting to crank it up because I feel like it slows down or something. I'm impatient, and this helps me with patience, I think. But I do try to speed up sometimes. Let's see. I might skip ahead here in a minute. What do you think? Is it going to be too long of a video? Like I said, I don't have to finish this today, but try to do what I try to do in here is kind of like S's, or what I used to call it. Some people call it S's, but I always called it diamonds or X's because it seems to be natural when you do. I can do it right here. So you got an X, 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 and you just keep doing X's, and then of course it evolves into a little bit of a swirly S. So I guess it could be S's, but you end up doing X's and S's, like real steep X's and S's, and you randomize them. I mean, you can do them if you want them, however you want them, but obviously this is not a tutorial. I say that on all my stuff, but this is just how I do it. I mean, I might be all wrong and I'm a moron, I don't know, but just it's just how I do it. It's how I've always done it. Once I discovered it, I was doing digital pencil sketches or drawings and things like that, and I was making videos back in the day, digital drawing, and they were speed drawings, and I was watching myself do the fur on a wolf that I was doing, and I noticed that I was just doing these rapid X's, you know, up and down because it was fast forwarded and sped up. And then I just started doing it on purpose. Like, okay, now I know what to get, how to get the look of the fur in the wolf or the bear or whatever it was. I just started kind of using that same SX stroke or whatever you want to call it, and using it for just about anything. You know, just even bark to a degree. You know, if you're doing a bark on a tree, not a tutorial, but you know, this is just blacked out. But doing a bark on a tree, wish I had one to do. Wanted to show you, but you know, I kind of go down and across, and then I'll come down, do basically stripes, like little candy stripes, and then you can come back the other side and go the opposite direction with my candy stripes, and you end up with these diamonds, argyle pattern. You know, it's kind of rounded, so it gives the tree the roundness. But that right there, you repeat it over and over and over. You get darks and lights and shadows, and you get the bark pieces that look similar to these this Bigfoot hair here. You get a I don't want to mess it up. I would show you, but anyway. So once this is done, I'm going to come back and do probably maybe another tip or something, and I'll come in and try to shade the tops of these to give it a little more, I would say, three-dimensional look, I guess. So it's got like a shadow shingle, like the shingles of a house or something like that. I'll give it that look, and that gives me a sort of a three-dimensional, like the hairs, tufts are tucked under. There's no exact place that it has to be. I mean, I try to go to the top of these little V's or whatever. I mean, that's where I try to. And sometimes you have to make a new one, make a new V with a little shadow. But anyway, I'm going along, see, doing the tip tops of that. That works well for me with sort of a representation of fur. You know, of course, you want to stagger and all that stuff and do randomness and try to get it. I don't know. I guess you do you, and you just do it how you want to do it, I suppose. However, whatever gives you the look you want. I'm not very. I used to do realism, and I might still, you know, on occasion. But most of the time, I've gotten to where I don't. It's so easy. It sounds bad, but everybody's got cameras. People have digital tools, which are not easy. I'm not saying that they're not. I use them. I've got digital software that I draw with and stuff. It's fun, but it's not what you would call easy. It gives you a lot of different tools to create different effects. But anyway, what I'm saying is you can make some really realistic stuff with digital art and Photoshop and AI now, and all of that, super realistic, relatively quickly compared to, say, oil painting or even acrylic painting or anything like that. And you know, then there is oil painting and acrylics, and you know, you can make realism but people do it all day long, so it's everywhere. This is my opinion, and this is one reason that I kind of slowed down on realism and just kind of gave up on the idea. I'm more interested in obviously it's not real. It's just entertaining, you know. It's not real. It doesn't look real. I'm not trying to make it look real, but it looks, you know, I want it to look good. But I just think, in my opinion, I would rather do more abstracty and loose painterly stuff than I would. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get a shadow of his beard. I want him to have a beard, So what I'm gonna do anyway, back to the realism, and that's all I'm saying is I just like to do uh, representational and expression and stuff like that. Now, like this is like, to me, it's therapeutic almost. You just kind of sit here and do this. It's meditative. It's very meditative. You can visualize. Um, Visualize your intentions and your ideas, and get into a trance-like state. And I don't even try; it just does. It's been that way since I was a child. Growing up, I would sketch for hours and draw and stuff, and on every kind of piece of paper I could find, anything solid, box of cardboard, cereal boxes, whatever. And it's meditative and therapeutic. You go into a sort of trance and just get lost in a dream world almost. But you can build this is my opinion, this is what I do. I mean, you can build your life just in your dream, in your mind, and then it can come to pass in life, in reality. It's not much different between the vision and the reality in the end. For me. So I enjoy doing this. Yeah, this is a little bit, I've got the temperature way down compared to before. Okay, here's another thing that I do. I keep these little pliers here because these wires, I get to put pressure on it and it bends, and I like to keep it kind of straight, so I just bend it back a little bit straighter. And I like the tip to be bent, but not the whole thing, you know what I mean? So here it's straight and it bends off on the end. I like that because I don't have to hold my hand down like this to get that shade. I can just kind of shade along like I would a pencil. It takes a little to get used to it, and then you can turn it like this, I can turn it like this and draw lines with it. I say you a lot, but I mean just in general, a person. Me and my wife talk about that all the time. We're always saying you, and it's like, no, not you, but anywho. So now this right here is going for the look that, I'll fix it and get it more random, and I'll get shades for his pecs here and shadow under there stuff. It's going to be kind of 3D, but I'll probably come back and darken some lines around because of the silhouette thing. I might even darken the whole body because of the silhouette. I don't know if I want him this light, but I would just come along with this shader and just kind of hit over it real lightly and quickly, so it don't put lines in it. It just shades over what is light, and then it becomes a shadow. I'm not trying to say I'm a genius or nothing. It's just everybody already knows this, I guess, but you just do it. That's the way I do it. I ain't no genius, I'll tell you that right now. Alright, so this, go this way. Alright, I gotta give some kind of thing. I gotta give you something here. We're gonna do the eyes, right? See that? I gotta give you something more than just so Bigfoot to me, he's got a strong brow, so you go all the way. I go all the way across with it, and also like to have a little bit of a downturn, like an upside down, like a U or whatever, not U, a bow. That's what I'm trying to say. A bow to it, so it gives it that downturn look. And then I'll go right here with these. Let's get some shadow there. Like it, we got a nostril there, a nostril there, and a little shatter over here, a shatter across it under his nose, under the lip. Downturn that. Sometimes I like to give it that little cat thing going on with that little V there, just a shadow over the lip. But I've heard like all these accounts of him looking like there'd be a cat face or something like that they couldn't tell. So I've sometimes imagined that that's what they see. Just the way it looks, the shape of the face and all, just kind of reminds them of a cat from a certain distance. And it could be markings or shadows or who knows, but it could be imagination too. So there's that. I remember, this is interesting, when I was a little kid, we went to the beach, and I was probably 8, 9, I don't even remember, 7, 8 or 9, I don't know. I know that I got my first glasses in the 4th grade, and so my eyes were pretty bad already by the time I realized it. And I thought back to when I was a kid, and we went to the beach, and I would see these crabs, and I'd never seen a crab, never been to the beach, but I see these crabs at a distance sand crabs running across the sand down there in Florida. And I would run to them, trying to catch up to them, and I could never, they're real slick, they're fast, they go in the sand or whatever. And so I wouldn't get close. But from a distance, when I saw it, I'd never seen one before. I didn't even know what it was. I just saw these things running. And to me, it looked like a little tank with stripes on the side. A few stripes. Like military stripes or something. It looked like a tank, and little tank. I was like, "What is that?" It was little. I didn't ask anybody. I might have said, ask them, but they don't. Parents weren't paying attention to what I was saying. But anyways, as I got older, I realized, we went back later, and it was a crab and all that. But I was like, why did I think that was a tank? When I was little. When I couldn't see it very well, is the reason. I needed glasses, and I drew it out, one day, and I was like, okay, and now I see, the legs are the front and the back, he's running sideways, and his little mouth tentacles doing this look like the V shape on the side from the distance that I was seeing it. And of course it may not even been that far, but it was 7 or 8, 9, whatever. That's what it looked like. No, I wasn't on drugs, but it did seem like it was a little tank or something. My imagination was running wild, trying to figure out what it was, and not having anything to go on as a kid, a young kid in the South like that, where I'd never been around the crabs, or anything. It was very interesting. I still laugh about it sometimes I think about it. But anyway, so that goes back to people, impressions of, well, what did you see, Bigfoot? Well, if you've never seen anything like whatever you're looking at, your brain may just take something that you've seen. This is my opinion. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a brainiologist. I'm not a whatever. Bigfootologist or a visionologist. I'm just telling you, that's my opinion of what's going on is just your brain is, oh, I'll bump the camera, sorry guys, sorry. Your brain is filling in with something that it is, trying to figure out what the heck you're looking at. And it's like going through all these images. This is how I envision it. It's going through all these images in your head, trying to figure out your memories and stuff, what you're seeing. Well, I was seeing poorly, so it had a lot to work. It didn't have a lot to work with, is what I'm trying to say. It had a lot of work to do, to try to figure out what I was looking at. So the air just went off. That's why it probably got quiet again. And you got frogs. But anyways, so cat face Bigfoot may be just a person's brain trying to make sense of what you're looking at. I had a guy that I knew tell me he saw a Bigfoot in the woods once when he was sitting hunting in the 80s, I guess it was. He's older than me. And he was embarrassed until he realized that I was actually interested. I'm not, like I say, I'm not saying Bigfoot's not real or real. I'm just saying I think it's possible, but to what capacity, I don't know that. But it is fascinating to me. I like the whole idea, and it's interesting. I love drawing them and painting them and stuff like that. It's just fun. Anyway, it's a fun thing to me because I didn't get beaten by one or captured or whatever else he does. Whatever. Most of them don't do anything, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't want anybody going, he was mean to me. Well, maybe he is. I don't know. So, anyways, back to what I was trying to say is I like hamburgers. That's what I was trying to say. Big fan of the hamburger and fries. There we go. Now get that out open. I really don't remember what I was saying. This is looking pretty good. So I had to give you something to look at instead of just this fur stuff. So as I'm going along, and this is looking a little more realistic than I really intended at first, I'm probably going to go back and do this stuff here to let's give you a little look here. Yeah. That's not too bad. I don't know if this is going to focus. If it doesn't, I'll clip it out, but let's get a little closer. So here we go. Let me do this for the thumbnail, hey? Let's do the thumbnail. Yeah, baby. Look at that. Fancy. Let's get up and close. Wait, let's go that way. Alright, right there. Alrighty. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I think I've done this for, I don't know, 4 hours or something. I mean, you see how fast. Now I'm doing it, this is taking longer than this. I drew the outlines and then you're just sitting here burning dots, So you can go along, you can, we all can go along pretty good at a pretty good clip here. Anyway, so we'll probably finish this in the next video, but definitely not this one. I'm gonna go ahead and get something to drink and bid you guys a farewell for now. He's looking pretty good, and if you came here to see a finished product, well, I apologize. Anyway, here we go. There it is. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. I think it's going to look pretty nice. It's as we showed in the previous video, or one of the previous videos, it was like 13 3/4 wide by 15, 16, something like that long. So it's going to be a nice size plaque, and we'll finish it. Yep. All right. This is Charles Guthrie, and I'll see you on the next video. I don't know if it'll be a speed drawing or this one. I don't know, but we'll do something. And see you next time.